Stay focused, keep your head up. How you doing? Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning. It is 12:34 a.m. Seem like these things get later and later, ain't they? Mr. Ogunlana, man. Coming off of a brilliant day, very productive today. It was a Monday, and want to talk a little bit about. I'm just going to jump right into the main thing that I want to talk about that I experienced today, which is the significance of forgiveness and how it can completely derail negative thought. Today, basically, to make a long story short, I had a unexpected situation happen, and it took me aback for a few moments because it was just a lot of stuff involved. And so what I ended up doing is spending way too much time thinking in a negative, destructive fashion. And I caught myself, thankfully, because I've been taking a lot of time reading and thinking about thinking. And to make a really long story short, what I ended up doing was I just thought about what would it hurt to just forgive and let it go. And I had to be honest with myself that it didn't cost me a damn thing. And, it actually cost me more to hold on to it, to be frustrated, to hold the grudge, to just spend too much time thinking about that, considering all of the other work that need to be done in my life in order for me to accomplish what I have set for myself in terms of goals. So I just took a moment and thought about it, and I just made the split-second decision to just go ahead and forgive and let it go. And, one thing that I explained to myself is forgiveness does not mean forgetfulness, forgiveness does not equal forgetfulness. That just because I'm forgiving and letting go the emotional tension or just because I am interpreting the emotional energy in such a way that it lends itself to my success for the day does not mean that I will forget how I've been treated and or especially in the collection of experiences that I've had with this person. And so I have held on more to forgiveness, specifically because it has a lot to do with character. I know I just started talking about character here I think in the last tape, mentioned character and how there are basic principles of life that go into the building blocks of what good character is. And I am, spending my time in my life, especially during this time, I'm realizing that this time is really a time where I'm really being challenged to build my character, because as you can see right now, it's past midnight. I've accomplished much today. I did get my brain dump and put it on paper, and I realized how much, and I'm looking at this sheet of paper. I literally filled this sheet of paper up and filled all of the corners of the paper up. I mean, it's just filled with stuff. And no wonder I've been feeling overwhelmed, ladies and gentlemen. And I actually been filling this in all through the day today of all the things that I like to get done this week. And it is a lot of stuff. And I have actually been doing all of this stuff in my head. And no wonder I've been getting burnt out so quickly and wanting to rest and be in bed all day, because I'm looking at this paper and it's well over 20, 30, possibly 40 items on this paper, possibly even 50. And once I start breaking them down into subtasks that I'd like to get done this week. And I'm going to get these things done this week. And because I have the energy and I have all of the resources that's necessary, that I can call upon, especially from within myself, to get these things done, and just so that I can begin to make these little changes and start inching forward, because I want to start this momentum. And so basically this week, just this Monday, I've realized that this week is just going to be a week of massive action. And so instead of sitting around holding a grudge over some insignificant event, I'd rather spend my time looking at my list, thinking about how I can do things differently, how I can optimize my time, and how I can really do the fun things on my list, like being out and enjoying the sun and meeting new people and going to new places and getting inspiration and sharing thoughts with like-minded people. And so there's much of that to be had this week. Today I had a few different meetings. I had probably about 3 or 4 meetings today, with different clients, and I started new projects today. And I turned down, like I've been saying this whole time. I know the last few tapes I've been talking about how the old ball and chain one client contract world was calling my name, and I shut the door firmly. I turned around and shut the door firmly in its face, because I'm not going to try to do it easy, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just not going to fall in that trap. And I realized that it was a trap. And I'm grateful for where I am right now, because I could see it. And I was able to bow out gracefully and just let them know that it was just not the kind of situation that would have suited me. And so moving forward from that, I looked, I possibly maybe 10, 15 minutes thinking about the event that happened and why I should just let it go. And then after I decided to just forgive the person for whatever, in the situation, for whatever I lost and for whatever the violation was, I felt light and I felt energetic, and I felt like I could move forward during my day without issues. I had my son today, and I did my brain dump, and I had several meetings, and I did some obligations and some mental, spiritual, emotional, physical tasks, and I feel good. I feel like I earned to have a good night's rest tonight, to rejuvenate my mind. And that subconsciously speaking, I feel that I fed myself some very positive, constructive things today. And in terms of just not falling victim to the lower part of myself. So this week, I can tell it has a lot to do with, it's going to have a lot to do with forgiveness. I had some notes that I want to get into. I've been writing my thoughts down too. Every negative thought, I've just been writing them down. I don't even let them swirl in my head longer than I catch them. As soon as I catch them, I just write them down directly on paper. So there's a lot of things this week in terms of organizing that is going to be done. It's almost like there's a lot of accounting that I'm going to be doing this week. Not just financial accounting, but emotional, spiritual, mental accounting. Just balancing my thoughts, balancing the food that I eat, balancing the time that I meditate, reflect, pray, balancing those things out with all of the major obligations that I have to do. And one thing I can say that I'm grateful for is that my son, he was in the meetings with me and talking just as much as I was to my clients today. And it was a really sweet, very adorable moment. Very, very good moments that I had today. He sees, and he's learning that his father is definitely about some business. This week is going to be, I could tell that it's going to have a lot to do with letting things go. Like I started today, just letting go of whatever preconceived notion or whatever grudge I want to hold on to, because I just don't have the mental, emotional, spiritual bandwidth. And what I would say to for all of those people that listen, that you just do not have the mental, emotional, spiritual, physical bandwidth to be holding grudges. It's not healthy, because there's so much to be done and so much work to be done. And I need to call on all of my mental faculties and my physical strength and my mental prowess in order to focus in on doing these things, focus firing on one thing at a time, doing it to its completion. That is just, I just don't have time to deal with jealousy, hate, malice. I don't have the time for that. And so I'm grateful that I'm realizing that I need to spend more time trusting in this benign universe, because it is benign. Just today, I just spent just time smiling, and I just realized that the more I smiled, it seemed like the more people smiled at me, and and it seemed as if people were a lot more open to having conversations with me, and the whole thing. And so I'm really grateful just where I am right now, and so it's great to. I was just thinking about like the kind of car that I want in terms of my next car, and I've always had my eyes on the Jaguar XJ8, champagne exterior, cream on the inside. Always loved the look of that car, and so I deserve that automobile, and I'm going to be putting in some serious effort to get it. I know I can get it, and I know that the universe will be sending it to me because of this massive action that I am doing right now. And just in terms of all of my business, it's definitely a good thing to have multiple clients, and so I know I'm on the right track. And as you can tell in my voice, that I have definitely done some real work today. And, I'm going to have my goal is to start doing these earlier. And I like the fact that this is kind of like raw and uncut, just kind of where I am. I'm kind of chopping up my day and into consumable pieces, for myself and others to listen to as I follow myself in this journey in terms of this audio log. And as I've been listening to all of them, it seemed like I started doing them in the day, but it seemed like the more focused I had become, it seems like the more later these talks have come, and that's all right. I heard something today. There was another book by Vic Johnson that I'm reading called "You Become What You Think About," and he was just talking about failure today and how failure is a necessity, and how my mind and how I think about failure can either allow me to find the opportunity to learn a lesson so that I can be better the next time, or not. And so he mentioned how he mentioned just a few different scenarios, how himself and other people had failed at so many different things, but during the time that he failed and other people failed, they didn't see it. But over time, they realized that it was because of those failures that they got the future success. And so one way I can apply that just in my professional career is that I know I've talked about several areas in my career where I quote unquote failed. But what I can say is that these failures, so to speak, have prepared me for this time in my life, have equipped me to be successful during this time in my life. Things are moving swiftly, and I have many projects, many things on this list. The next thing that I want to do tomorrow is give the 4 a.m. another shot. I know it's already 12, and this morning I did get up. at 4. And what I found is, and I'm finding is, I get up, I actually get up, walk around, because I'm like, I need to get up and just hit the floor, walk around. But it's like, like it's, let me see, how can I explain it? I'm still in that comfortable state. So tomorrow, what I like to do, or this morning, what I like to do when I wake up at 4 is do some push-ups and sit-ups to get my blood flowing. I actually want to not drink coffee so early in the morning, because what I did today and what I've been doing, and just in terms of a habit, is drinking like an espresso early in the morning, like like a double dose of the espresso. And I'm just finding that that's just not really good for me in the long run. So what I'm going to do is I owe myself about 30, 40 push-ups. So I'm going to do that in the morning. And if I feel like getting back in the bed, then when I get done with the push-ups and sit-ups, and I look at doing, and I get this brain dump in the computer in Trello, then I'll lay back down for a nap before I go pick my son up. And that'll be my treat to myself when I do the push-ups and I do the dump into the Trello system, so that I can link it to my calendar. And then the bonus points would be to see if I can go ahead and use Zapier or If to and just check it out to see what other kind of tools similar to Trello I can use some webhooks to make my goal setting a little bit fun. Like maybe when I complete certain goals on certain boards, that it orders me a massage. That would be nice. Or it'll send me it'll go ahead and schedule a manicure or pedicure or something like that. That would be really nice. I want to go ahead and configure my rewards into my system, so as soon as I put it in done, it's gonna go ahead and charge my card and go ahead and get that massage ready. I've been looking forward to having a massage. Really looking forward to that. So any masseuse out there, especially a female masseuse that want to definitely sit down with me and talk to me about how we can exchange ideas and things of that nature, I would love to barter with you. Because I definitely work out physically, and it's just something about a woman's touch. I'm just seeing that I really prefer that. Anyway, so So that's kind of some things that's on my list. I know today will probably be a little bit quick because it is late, and I didn't want to spend that much, or how should I say? I did want to at least get on here and talk about a few things in terms of my life, especially how forgiveness really helped motivate me to be successful today and not be so negative. And it did. And I felt lighter, and it really helped me to move past, whatever that, the situation that was on my mind. It really helped me move past that. And so I'm just trying to think, is anything else I want to kind of get into? Tomorrow I got my son. I got a couple of phone calls. What I want to do is I want to at least plan tomorrow out in the morning. I just enumerated 3 things, or 2 of them, and I'm going to add a third one, because I definitely want to plan tomorrow, and I want to have a high-level idea of what I'm going to do tomorrow, and I don't want to eat out all day, and I don't want to just eat the same food that I've been eating, so I'm, definitely want to kind of switch it up a bit, and I'm definitely pushing it, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm enjoying it, because I am pushing myself to see how far I could go in this whole thing. And it's really me. It's true that it is me, and that it is my success and my unsuccess, so to speak, it is defined by me. And so give thanks for myself for taking my day seriously, for taking the time to actually be close to my notebook to do that brain dump. I want to give thanks to myself for taking the situation that happened to me with a grain of salt. Once again, to utilize forgiveness as a means to stay focused. And I want to also give thanks for how productive my day has been today. I did a whole bunch considering everything that's kind of been happening. And so tomorrow I know it's going to be even better. And I just give thanks for myself in the future so that when I reach this particular audio tape at that present time, I know my decision making will be greatly affected in a positive, constructive, uplifting, and upbuilding fashion. And I'm grateful to that. I'm grateful to my friends, my family, and I'm grateful to the lucky young lady out there who, her and her friends. I'm just grateful for them and them coming into my life, because it's gonna definitely help to motivate me even more. And I'm just really happy and grateful, man. Like I said, this is that midnight talk. I'm trying not to be all seductive on here. but yeah, so that's pretty much it. I'm tired, but it's a good kind of tired. It's a kind of tired that, because even after the end of the day, I still went out and ran. I ran, my 3 miles and did all of my obligations here at my house. And it was well after 8, 9 o'clock when I did that. And so I'm grateful for my consistency and all the things that I'm doing, and not just not doing it just because it's not happening in the way that I originally planned it. I want to give thanks for my flexibility. I want to maintain that flexibility, keep that up. And I definitely want to mix some things up. I want to spruce my schedule up a little bit. I want to go see some new places, some new faces. I want to be around some good smelling women and some good looking women this week. Somewhere, somehow, I know it's coming to me. And so I'm feeling good about that. And yeah, so if you find yourself, young man, young woman, in the future or in your present time with your head hung low, I'm going to share something with you, something that my father always told me anytime he caught me with my head in that downright position. He would ask me to do him a favor, and I would reply to the affirmative. And the favor was to raise that head. And so I'll add, you raise it because there's something inside of you that's begging and pleading and hoping and wishing that you would give it an opportunity to manifest itself in your life. And that, my friends, is greatness. And so I challenge you to harmonize with that. I challenge you to harmonize with the love that's deep within, such that you don't fall victim to the false or the lack of love in your external environment. I also challenge you to push yourself, to see what your limits are, to do something different. I also challenge you to continue your massive action if you hadn't already started. I challenge you to do something, take a risk. I challenge you to actually push yourself. I challenge you to not sit around watching TV. I challenge you to not sit around gossiping, being on the phone, spending too much time on social media without any point. I challenge you to actually start to think about what you want with your life if you haven't already done it. I want to give thanks for myself for already doing it. And if you are already doing it, I challenge you to stay focused. I challenge you to find other people. I challenge even myself. If I haven't found anyone yet, then I challenge you to find. I'm challenging you in the future, Mr. Ogunlana. If you still haven't found some like-minded people yet, by the time you listen to this, I challenge you to actually spend some time. Go find Toastmasters in your area. Find some group organization in your area. So many meetups, so much stuff happening that you just do not have an excuse. So, one more time, it's the greatness in you. Harmonize with it. Keep that head in the upright position. Because just as a plane rises and experience turbulence before it reaches that 30,000 feet, so will we as we continue to rise. Even though that there will be turbulence, that we will rise to high heights that we've never seen, never heard, but only dreamed. This is Mr. Ogunlana, wishing you all the best. until the next time we speak.